George Takei.
I want Riker to get on Facebook and just like one day every day like post a picture of a girl he thinks is hot and like just tell us why he thinks she's hot.
Okay, yeah, all right. Now that like if you know anything about Jonathan Frakes, the actual guy,
Yeah.
he's a mess. Like,
yeah.
Okay, should I start a parody account where where it's just called Riker or Riker Reacts?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Oh my god, that would be
great.
it's Riker Reacts, and it's just me posting a picture of a hot chick, and then be like, "This is why I think she's hot."
Yeah, and it's gotta be like
what?
incredibly vapid shit. Like her ass is so fucking bouncy.
You would be at least as famous as the guy who does the same picture of Jeff Goldblum every day.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm your number one fan.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. They all flow down here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Here's Johnny!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast where my friends stop me from forgetting about the body in the trunk and instead force me to watch movies. This week, we have with us Eric Largent.
Outlander, we have your woman! Sorry, I just wanted to get that one.
No, that's fine. We have James Vera.
Seize him!
And the hot seat remains empty today because some things even friendship can't overcome. So, this week...
We're not saying that somebody slept with somebody's mother, but, I mean, we're just saying that... something
we're not
happened.
saying that at all. We're saying this is a terrible, terrible movie, and I can't even get anybody. Anyway,
all we're saying is the hot seat is cold for today.
Yes, the hot seat is cold. This week we watched a cult classic that not only spawned 7 sequels, but also
kidding me.
Nope, and also spawned a prequel as well.
Toddlers of the Corn.
It has a huge cult following and has been remade once for TV, and they're talking about a second remake of the original. That's right, we're talking about Stephen King's Children of the Corn. The synopsis: a couple stranded in a rural town falls into the hands of a group of children who murder all of the town's adults at the command of their leader. Starring Peter Horton, Linda Hamilton, fresh off her Terminator run.
Was this after Terminator?
You know, they both happened in 1984, so I'm not sure which happened when. Yeah. R.G. Armstrong. And no idea who directed it because it's not listed here.
Let's see. Talk to me, Wikipedia. Yeah. Directed by Fritz Kirsch.
There we go. Fritz Kirsch. Mm-hmm. Good job, Fritz.
Cool. Okay. Well, according to Wikipedia, it was his first feature film.
Did he have another?
Yes, he did. The next year directed Tough Turf.
Ooh, that classic.
Winners Take All. He directed the Swamp Thing TV series.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
He directed Into the Sun and The Stranger and The Hurt. So that's Fritz Kirsch for you.
Yep. Hey, I like the Swamp Thing TV show. That was pretty.
It was decent
strange
for the time, yeah.
Was it based on like the Swamp Thing comics?
Yep.
No. It was based off of the Return of the Swamp Thing. That was sort of the universe it occupied.
Johnny,
So there was, yeah.
literally right next to me are sitting your Swamp Thing comics and your Hellblazer comics right now that you gave me like maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You should give those back at some point.
I heard that they're good.
They're in good shape. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they are.
they're
I don't
sitting
care.
here and they're like, I'm taking care of them, but they are just sitting on my shelf right now.
I love the Swamp Thing. I love those comics.
Yeah, they're great.
They're good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about let's stop avoiding the issue and instead talk about Children of the Corn.
Do you think Alan Moore was your favorite Swamp Thing writer? Like Neil Gaiman did pretty well with it too.
Nice try, Eric.
This is the Unbearable Podcast.
So the thing I do want to say a little bit before we actually get started on this, because this is one of those things that reminds me, after watching this, how strong drug culture was in our nation all the way up until, the mid-'80s. Because that's the only thing that I can explain why so many people that I know grabbed onto this movie. Like, anybody who is older than me and is from a certain generation, like this is a movie they know. This is a movie they may not remember it, but they know it and they talk about it like it's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
got my
somehow-
own theory on that.
Yeah, like somehow Malachi is up there with Jason and Freddy and Mike Myers and Leatherface. Wow, not Rawhide. Rawhide.
Rawhide.
Yeah, Leatherface. So, I mean, somehow Malachi is up there, and I don't know if that comes from the sequels, which I've never seen, or whether or not
Are those characters in the sequels?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know that one is titled Isaac's Return, so I would have to guess that Isaac returns in that one.
Wow, that's a bold guess, John.
Yes, so yeah. But yeah, so I don't quite know. The only thing that I can think of as to why this is such a cult classic is drugs. And I mean, it's referenced everywhere. I mean, people make Children of the Corn jokes all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I hear more, like, in reference to rural people, I hear more Children of the Corn than I ever hear Deliverance, which was a much more famous movie. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's actually dissect this guy. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Let's dissect this corn crucifix.
Oh man, and as
10
always,
minutes in.
yeah, just yep.
Nobody said corny.
Oh god, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Right.
And just like always, as soon as I begin talking, I forget everything I was going to say. Just like this movie. No.
I mean, okay, so one thing that pertains to drug culture with this movie is like this is back when Stephen King was doing a lot of drugs. Like this story
Yeah.
came from the time of Stephen King's career where he was
But we're talking 80s, which is cocaine. It's not like LSD. Yeah. Cocaine! No wonder he's got the clown in it. So, all right. So this movie, I just looked it up because as I was watching it, I was like, why the fuck? Like, nothing happens in this movie. Like, I mean, yeah, stuff happens, but nothing really. Nothing you can really sink your teeth into. There's a good story in here. We don't see it. But around this area, there's a good story. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, Stephen King, he's not Michael Crichton. He doesn't write shit. So...
Right. To be fair to Stephen King, this comes from one of his short stories.
Yeah, that's what I found out. So it's a short story, which makes sense because they obviously stretched out a bunch of stupid shit they didn't need to.
Exactly.
This thing was like, could have been a half hour long. I don't know, maybe it was just me. Maybe people in the 80s liked watching people driving in cars for a half hour and getting lost and talking about how long they were going. And
So like the only thing that I got out of that was I really want that car. I love those old cars. I love old cars. Didn't that car look super comfortable to ride around in and drive?
it did look
Like,
like
it
didn't
looked
that
like
look
the
like the
kind of
most
car that
comfortable
you
car
can-
that's ever existed?
I miss my hoopty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like comfortable cars. I want one like that.
Yeah.
But it looks like a great car.
Are you talking? Is your hoopty the white beat off like LeBaron that you used to have?
Oh no, fuck that car. No, I'm talking about the Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
The Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Yeah. The thing was a goddamn boat and it was beautiful.
Yeah. I like those are nice. I want a boat. I need a boat.
Yep. Like
we're gonna need a bigger
yeah,
boat.
we're gonna need all right, so at the very beginning we get this whole thing. All right, there's a shot where they're in the diner and the waitress she puts a packet of something in the coffee, and I was thinking to myself, why is that bitch putting sugar in the coffie pot?
Right.
Like
Not everybody wants sugar in their coffee.
I know. I'm like, who the fuck does she think she is? And I also found out that it was actually like strychnine or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, all right. She's forgiven.
Fast acting poison X.
Yep. Like I was going to be really mad when she put sugar in the coffee pot. No, it's just poison, so I can relax there for a second. But yeah, you got that. Isaac was pretty creepy, but Malachi, my God, how do you find a ginger with both an overbite and an underbite?
I don't know.
He's like, okay, we need to look it up and see if he kept working. Like,
Fuck no!
Like that was one of the weirdest looking people I've ever seen in my life.
I'm betting that he sold half his teeth and still had plenty left over.
Terrible.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. The actors, like, of course you got child actors who are going to, you always have to, like, give a bit of leniency to them. But even with that leniency given, they're still awful. They're terrible in this. Here's what I was, like, thinking, about saying when I first came on this podcast is like, are you ready for something really scary and terrifying? Because we have got Children of the Corn and we're ramping it up to 4.
Yeah.
This movie is a horror movie you could watch with your kids.
Yes.
Maybe not like 6 or something, but like at like 9 or 10 or something like that. Like, I know a lot of kids watch Poltergeist at a young age, and that has a woman ripping off her face. Yep. This has no on-screen deaths whatsoever. It's got no on-screen gore.
Yeah, it does. The kids, when they're in the diner, they're like cutting throats.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
it's
see
like
that.
it's like 2-second flash.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's no gore, like, like when the guy gets his fingers chopped off, which did make me squirm, from the deli cutter.
Oh yeah, that's gross.
That was brutal, but the thing is that they cut away and they just had the noise.
Yeah, they didn't show anything.
Which is good movie making, because like that would just really kind of like it's better to just kind of have that imagined in your head.
Yeah.
But if you wanted something to kind of amp it up even more, you cut back to the guy with a fake hand, and blood spurting out his stumps and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
But there was nothing like that at all. All of the knife chops and everything like that happened off screen. The main character, so they have that whole thing in the beginning, and then they cut to the hotel room, and there's that ridiculous part where Linda Hamilton sings like
something
old
something.
Must have been public domain.
Free music. Yeah.
Some
old royalty-free non-music.
Some royalty-free cringe fest of like a minute of a movie. Like I just sat there and was like, "Oh God, this is bad. This is not good.
Yeah.
Why is this still happening? This is still happening.
Yeah, I know. It keeps on going forever.
This is still happening. Like that was not good.
A cool girlfriend sings Alice Cooper. Come on, school's out for summer. That's the song you go to." But nonetheless, I love that song too. It's just like, not only is it royalty free and awful, it's got no subtext and is obviously like completely from the time. Like
I know, like he wasn't even a teacher. It's not like, was he a teacher? I thought he was a doctor.
A college student.
No, wasn't he a doctor?
Yeah, he was a med student who just graduated.
Okay, so the like school being out stuff was about him being out of school now?
Yes.
See, like
their whole journey both narratively and in the movie, makes no fucking
Yeah.
sense. There's no context for it. We have no idea why they're traveling across country.
Well, I think we do, because I finally realized it at the end. They're trying to get to Seattle.
Yeah, they
from where?
I don't know! Where the fuck do you have to drive through that shit to get to Seattle?
Florida. Like, I guess Nebraska would be on the way for going from Florida to Seattle.
Stay on the highway!
Yeah. Yeah, like they kind of explain that, where they're like, this is even less interesting than the highway.
Oh my god. I'm from Michigan, and I know if an exit sign doesn't at least have a McDonald's, you don't fucking get off.
That's right.
And Michigan is not the South. You know? The main characters in this thing were really stupid. I just want to go back to that song and just be like, oh, me and my friends driving in my Studebaker. Going downtown and we'll see the Quakers. We'll sit down on my Davenport.
What? Okay. That's not one of your
My
best.
transistor radio's got a short because we're old.
Yeah, I mean, in the days before GPS, you certainly did not get off the highway because maps were useless.
Oh, largely, yes.
Off the highway.
Okay, so one of the great things that happens in this movie is they try to learn something from the radio like a couple times, and every time they turn the radio on, it's just like the same. They don't turn the dial.
I know! Because they don't turn the dial. It's the same station. What are they expecting?
They didn't turn the dial.
How do radios work?
I'm telling you, man, it's drugs.
The radio is stuck in one position, like how sometimes people's cars get stuck with one tape in the tape deck, and they have to listen to that tape forever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Seriously.
For me, it was Billy Joel's greatest hits.
No, we didn't start the fire.
I have Uptown Girl burned into my brain.
That's actually a really good song.
It is.
But not if you listen to it a million times. Seriously, the construction of that song is fantastic, but nonetheless.
But we digress.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, here's why I don't believe it was drugs, John, because the drug of the 80s was cocaine. And if you're making a movie on cocaine, you do not film 30 minutes of people driving through cornfields.
Not the early 80s, man. Cocaine was probably not a thing until later.
Yeah,
I would have to say.
Okay, if they were on like, what was...
Benny's.
Yeah, Benny's will do that. Benny's will make a movie like Children of the Corn. So here's why I think that this movie is such a big thing. Well, it's a pop culture like staple. It's ridiculous and stupid. I think that a lot of people watched it when they were kids.
That must be.
Yeah, I think it's just all nostalgia for a lot of people.
Yeah.
After seeing Isaac, it was pretty creepy, and the guy that they cast for him was like cool. I mean, it was cool that they actually like the way he looked and everything. So
the actor, when they filmed this movie, was 25 years old.
That's what I thought.
He has
looked
hormone deficiency.
Yeah, he looks like one of those proportional dwarfs.
Yep.
Whatever.
He has growth hormone deficiency.
Yes,
yeah. Yep.
And that, like, I figured it was something like that because, that's exactly the type of person you want in that role.
He wasn't acting like a kid in the movie at all.
Right. Exactly, and that's what you want.
Well, acting.
And the actor, like, you could tell on his cheeks, had already gone through puberty. Like, he had acne scars. Yep. So, like, you could tell, like, at least I was like,
off.
Yeah, I was like, this is not a child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing really scary in this movie. A lot of corn everywhere that made no sense. The only thing that was even kind of scary was so the credit scene, once again, good credit scene, because the kid drawings with like all that shit in them was actually really creepy.
Yes.
I liked that a lot.
Yep.
But then the movie started and then all that was lost.
So that stuff actually looked like a child drew it, which made it pretty effective. Like, I was like, oh shit, this is weird. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
And you got like the person with the pentagram on their chest and stuff like that in the drawing, and you're like, oh man, we're gonna go some weird places with this movie. No, we're gonna go through some cornfields, and that's it.
Yep.
There were a couple times where in the background you see some corn chops of Jesus.
Yes. Those are great.
Yeah, okay, there was one where they used, like, the corn to make, like, teeth and stuff like that, and that was kind of creepy. But then there was another one, a later scene, where they used corn stalks for his hair, and it just looked like he was, like, driving down the highway or something. It looked like he was going, "Dee!"
Reggae Jesus.
And they cut out, like, some, like, eyes and mouths out of some magazines and put them on. I think that they wanted to make it look like they were screaming, but honestly, it just looked hilarious.
Yes.
That was so ridiculous. And I wish Chris was here because I could ask him this, but Eric, since you know a little bit about cars, when someone corns your car, that's
exactly what I thought too. Last time I was like, they corned her car. They corned his car.
That's like your car's a paperweight at that point, pretty much, right? I mean, like.
I guess.
Yeah, it's like, sugar in the gas tank,
corn your car,
clogging up the exhaust. All that is just
banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to corning a car, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. How is that car supposed to not work anymore? They just put corn on it. They just put corn.
They didn't even try to start it.
It's just like, oh well, there's somebody corned my car.
They just walked into the car, saw that it had been corned, and were like, "Well, I guess we're fucked." But then at the end of the movie, they just take the corn off the car, and it works again, right?
No, they walk.
No,
to the next town.
they walk.
Oh, really?
Away.
Yeah.
The car needs nothing's wrong with the car. They just put some corns on it.
The guy goes in to like grab like a bag or something. Yeah. No.
Oh yeah, and then that girl tries to stab him. That wasn't even scary.
Yeah,
they could have made that scary.
That was like the weirdest. That was the weirdest horror denouement
I
I've
know.
ever seen. Because like everybody sees that one, but like he hits her in the head with a car door, and then he goes, "Oh geez, oh she's out cold."
The ridiculous thing, you watch that scene closely. He hits her in the hand with a car door, and she gets knocked out cold.
Okay.
And then the movie says the end because otherwise you wouldn't fucking know.
Dude, like, and the end just like drops out of nowhere.
I know.
Like
they're
still filming too. Like they're still going on.
Yeah, they telegraphed the backseat killer, surprise killer. Which was ridiculous because they show her standing up before he opens the door.
Yeah,
there were a couple of moments of suspense, but they were all brought about by the lead main character's stupidity. And you have to say, like, okay, maybe because they are, they don't expect to be in a horror movie, and we know they're in a horror movie, that maybe that I would act this stupid as well until I realize that something really fucked up's going on, but.
I don't know, like him just wanting to go in and use the phone, like at that house, like that's a normal thing. I think
that's a normal thing. I think when he sees those kids and they run away and like the town's a ghost town,
yeah,
I wouldn't stop again.
No, yeah, like so the kids running away, you're at that point he's just like, well, they're just youths, but
yeah,
he needs to get out of that town.
Yeah.
Like, he should know that.
I think the most suspenseful part of this was actually the dream sequence.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course. That was it.
Which was
stupid. Yes, incredibly stupid.
And the last thing I'll say is that the effect for the he who walks behind the rose, that was actually pretty cool.
See, I was...
Oh, the dirt mount?
Yeah. I was gonna mention that. I was gonna be surprised that you didn't mention it because like it's like they had like loose sand and they like drug a ball through it, but it's like they made a tremor go through the ground or something.
Yeah, I read an article once because like somebody on Reddit had like a ask request or something, and they actually got one of the effects guys on this movie to talk about it, and he was like, he had to go ask his colleagues and come back because it's been so long he forgot. But it was actually incredibly involved. They had to like dig trenches and lay down like tracks for the camera and everything like that. And it was like really tough to actually get the thing to actually drag underneath the like tarps and stuff and not get caught. So it was incredibly involved, and it was fraught with issues and took a lot of creative thinking, and it ended up looking pretty damn good. But honestly, in a movie like Children of the Corn, at the very end, I mean, if we're not going to see like anything like super gross or super creepy, we might as well see the monster, and we don't even see the monster.
Correct.
And the main character, after throwing that fucking Molotov cocktail, after all the shit that he did, he would have went up He wouldn't have had to been near
Yeah.
the flame. The flame would have gotten hot enough to light the fumes coming off of him on fire. He was so fucking sloppy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's my thing. You said they're going to make a remake. Well, good. Here's how to make a remake that's decent, I feel. Because like I said, there's a decent story here. It's probably either before Isaac kills everybody, but nonetheless, if you want to make a story around this that's actually interesting, you make the doctor actually accept a doctor's position in the town. So like there's like 2 or 3 adults still around in the town.
Yep.
And they're saying things like, "Oh, the adults are here, but they live with the children. We live in like a community or like a commune." And they're pressuring him to go to church, but he doesn't really know if he wants to, but they need a doctor there. And so like him and his wife are thinking that something really eerie's going on, and you run it like a thriller. And then at the end, you have the reveal that not only is this cult fucking evil and nasty and murderous, but that there's actually some supernatural shit going on. That's a reveal after the 3rd act. It's when like all the zombies come crawling out of the corner or something like that.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know if it's necessarily like really. I have an entirely different theory on how to make this creepy, and I'll cover it in my.
I'm
part.
done, so that's me.
Okay, Eric, do you want to
Sure.
go next, or should I jump in?
Go.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was saying I was going to be surprised if you didn't mention the thing that walks behind the rose, because that was actually a pretty cool special effect. But the other thing, this movie had maybe the worst special effects I've ever seen in my entire life.
Apart from that,
Yes.
Like I don't know how they made, like they lit up the clouds, and like that was supposed to kind of be the monster, kind of, or like
they,
that was like
drew
part
on
of
the,
his
on the explosion. Yeah,
yeah, and
that
then
was a real explosion.
Yeah.
I actually managed a real explosion.
yeah, oh yeah, the explosion was real, yeah. But like the art or the effects that they did, where they just like drew on the film,
Yeah,
like it really looked like they just took a Sharpie and drew on the film, and that's how they made the effects for this movie. Like when somebody was like hanging on the cross, like didn't they? When Isaac was hanging on the cross, didn't they have like what something came and like dissolved him or something?
Yeah, it was like
Something
it was
weird
just
was supposed to happen
yellow
there.
blob
Right.
that turned red when it ate him.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, and I know exactly what you mean, Eric, because like some of it actually like jerks to the right. Yeah.
Like I really think that's how they did it. Like this was the worst special effects you could have. Like this is the worst possible version of special effects. So like I like seeing that, it makes you, because like all the other stuff in this movie that they leave to the imagination, I wonder why they decided to have something that bad that they show you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. And you know, the weirdest thing is like this is at the height of Tom Savini's career.
Yeah.
Like he didn't do anything on this.
Oh, okay. I was
But
going to say, if he did, I would have been like, what the
No,
Where
but
were you?
But he could have.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like he had his finger in every horror movie pretty much that came out during this time period.
Like even Big Trouble in Little China, where they're like drawing lightning bolts on people.
Oh, yeah.
That looked way better than this.
Oh, that looked fucking
Yes.
sweet.
Yeah.
I love the lightning bolts in 80s movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they could have done. There was, I think there was some fake lightning in this.
Like for 2 seconds. Yeah, I remember.
and that looked okay.
Yep.
But the rest of it, like, yeah, the amount that they tried to do with just tell and not show made it inexplicable when they showed you things that were just awful.
Well, they spent their entire budget on acting coaches.
No, they spent their entire budget on that explosion at the end. Like they did manage to capture a fucking huge explosion. Like that was a fucking fireball.
That was gigantic. Okay, something about the effects. When the kid dies, and the first kid in the cornfield to die, who gets stabbed, that blood was hot sauce.
Oh yeah.
I know what hot sauce looks like when you spill it. That blood was hot sauce.
Yeah, it doesn't look like real blood at all. Not even remotely.
No.
And it's not even, it was like it existed
You
in that
knew how to
weird
make
place.
good blood at that time.
Yeah.
Food coloring and Caro syrup.
See,
Yeah, and
all I saw were tamales with hot sauce on them.
yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, it wasn't even like the good, like there's the good blood. There's the fake blood that's also good because it's like bright orange and shoots like 80 feet.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite blood.
This was like, I have the brand of hot sauce that this was. It's Louisiana. It's like the bottom shelf hot sauce where it's basically just like a little bit of chili pepper and vinegar.
Yep.
That was it. That was what this was.
I like Louisiana.
I do too. I love it.
Flavor.
I love it, but it's the cheapest one at the store.
Yes.
It should be. It's delicious.
It's no chula.
It's almost as good as Frank's. I do enjoy Frank's.
Frank's is
It's
great.
the hot sauce pod.
Hey, we could rename this podcast the Hot Sauce Committee, and we could talk hot sauce. Oh yeah, listeners. I guess
send us your hot sauce.
Please, listeners, if you send us hot sauce, we will review it on the podcast.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's
somebody fucking buy us a bottle of Billy Mitchell's hot sauce.
Oh my god, hell yeah. I would totally review that. But where would they send it, Eric?
They could send it to my house. If they want to know where to send,
we could get a PO
hot
box.
sauce. No, like if they want to know where to send hot sauce, then just send us a message on Facebook that says, "I will send you hot sauce. Tell me your address, and I'll give you my home address."
All right. Okay, so there it is. We will review hot sauce for you.
We have to review Billy Mitchell's while we do the Chuck Norris movie. Because he looks like Chuck Norris. Even though
so back to Children of the Corn.
No, I wasn't going to go back to the Children of the Corn.
Okay.
Where I was going is I was going to let the listeners in on a little secret. Like during our hiatus, we thought about other podcasts that we could do maybe, and I don't know if we want to leave this in. If we don't have to. But one of I had an idea for a podcast that was just gonna be called the Hot Sauce Committee, where we just like talked, and like shot the shit and talked about things.
Fuck that! I'd rather review hot sauce.
Yeah, I pretty much put the kibosh on that immediately because who wants to listen to us talk?
Well, see, one of the things that we talked about when it was just us talking was the wonderful situation that James has happening in his backyard right now.
Oh God.
I was going to climb up that tree this weekend.
All right. Anyway, that'll be a deep cut, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever want to hear the story of James and his tree, I'm pretty sure Eric can dredge up a recording, but the cost will be a bottle of hot sauce.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if we get enough hot sauce, we'll release some of our side projects that we did when we were on hiatus and we were trying to be funny.
That tree talk is funny.
And if you get us all the hot sauces in the world, you'll get the Good Burger episode.
That's right. That's right. The elusive Good Burger episode.
Does that still exist?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I have it. It's our very first episode. The first episode we ever aired.
Yeah, it aired, right.
It's out there.
It's out there somewhere. You have to be very diligent and your Google foo must be strong. So Eric, is that really all you have to say?
No, it's not, okay. Obviously. I just wanted to bullshit a little bit. Okay. That might have been all I had to say.
They corned their car.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I had mentioned last week that we had watched 2 horror movies and we hadn't watched anything scary. Well, now we've watched 3 horror movies and we haven't watched anything scary. Like, there was nothing...
Eric, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Yeah.
As somebody who loves horror, there actually really aren't too many movies out there that are really all that scary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one wasn't.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I don't know, like, The Awakening was scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Babadook was scary.
Yeah. I mean, they're out there, but, we're not watching them.
We watch those too, but
most horror movies are just gory and funny.
Or complete snooze fests like this.
I get it that you're working with kids and that kids can't necessarily deliver Shakespearean dialogue, but still, like, what they wrote for this movie, the dialogue that they wrote for this movie was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get that they're trying to make them sound like they were Amish or Mennonites or something.
Yeah.
Forsooth, I am at the Renaissance Festival.
Yeah. Yeah, they just made
I'm pretty sure Eric's been corned.
I have. Yeah, I did. I got corned. What else can you say about this movie? It wasn't good. It wasn't scary. It wasn't interesting. They were driving in their car. I wanted the car. It had really bad special effects. big explosion. They called ethanol cornahol or something. What do they call it?
I don't
Like
know.
alcacorn or something? Cornahol? It was ethanol that they had
Yeah.
that they ended up pumping through the sprinkler system, but they called it like cornahol.
I'm pretty sure
Honestly,
they called it Cornhall.
Straight up, man. When they were like pumping that ethanol through the sprinkler system, I was just thinking to myself, "My God, that is like actually the best way to light a cornfield on fire."
Gasohol. They called it gasohol.
Oh my God.
But it's ethanol.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously ethanol. But
You know what's funny? If they put gasohol in their car, that would have fucked it up better than putting corn on it.
see, that's the real way to corn a car.
That's how you corn a car.
That's how you corn a car, is putting ethanol.
You don't lift up the hood and stick some corn in it.
I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do, though. I'm gonna be a rash of corning in my neighborhood.
You're all stuck at home like I am. Nobody goes to work today. Your car's been corned.
You're gonna wake up tomorrow and there's gonna be ear corn sticking out of your gas tank. Oh yeah, and then so the movie ends just like out of the blue, just like after he knocks the girl out, and then they're like, maybe we should keep these kids for a month. We like these kids, and it's like, oh, so you're adopting these fucking weird kids now? Okay, well, I guess they weren't that weird, but like, what? They're not gonna. Why are they adopting those kids? They gotta give them back to Child Protective Services or some shit. Like, they're not going to Seattle with fucking Linda Hamilton.
Well, that's the thing that cracks me up is the whole movie. There's this stupid little subplot about Linda Hamilton wanting to be married to this dude and him constantly rebuffing her commitment. But at the end of the movie, he's like, "Hey, yeah, let's have 2 kids."
Right.
Because he's not going to change his mind.
So, like, whoever did the screenplay for this, I could definitely see being under the influence of something, because after a while they just gave up and then the movie ended.
Yeah.
Like that is seriously how this movie ends. They just were like, okay, I guess it's over now, and then they stopped. And that was it. And that's how this review ends. It just stops.
All right, a couple of things that I want to take us home with. There are a couple of things about this movie. I mean, in no way, shape, or form did I enjoy this experience. It was boring as hell, and out of all of the movies that we've watched on this podcast, this definitely rates down there, just really far down there for me. That being said, there were a couple of things that I noticed about this that I thought were interesting choices. First off, it happened, almost 90% of the movie happens during the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I always think that should be something that needs to happen. I mean, by a master, obviously. There's no way they could do it in this film. But by a master, I think I need to see a horror movie where most of it happens in areas where it's well lit. You know, like, I know that darkness is scary.
Yeah, but that's like the one note that horror movies have been playing on this whole time.
Yeah.
Is that you can't see very well.
Exactly. Yeah, and I would, so I think that you can get real creepy with well-lit areas, because all you have to do is just introduce something that really shouldn't be there. Number 2, about this movie has the one thing that is guaranteed to scare the ever-living piss out of me, but they did this stupid synth reverb on it that just totally wrecked it for me. Because nothing, to me, one of the scariest fucking things in the world is children's laughter where there shouldn't be any children. So when they're out in, like, the cornfields and they're getting stalked, which this movie really needed a lot more of.
Wait. They're getting stalked like corn.
Getting stalked. That was completely
no. Well, I mean, the guy literally gets stalked later.
Yes.
When the corn tries to beat him up, and it somehow works.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. That was our first corn pun.
When they're getting hunted, and there's all those like kids like giggling, they do this stupid little synth thing. So like they made the children's laughter was like obviously played on a Casio, like a Casio sampler. So it's like, you know. So I mean, but there's other movies, horror movies, where they've done that to great effect. Blair Witch, the original Blair Witch, they did that once.
See, I did not remember that. I did watch that movie, but I don't remember the children's laughter in it.
It's during one of the tent attacks.
Okay.
Like where shit is rattling on the tent. So some children's laughter. You know, and Blair Witch is a perfect example of something that really does a very good job with mood. I mean, because absolutely nothing fucking happens in that movie whatsoever.
No, yeah, it's all mood, 100%.
But it's all mood, and it ends up being actually pretty terrifying
Yeah.
if you're in the right mindset for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The end of that movie can really get you.
Yeah, yeah. So Children of the Corn, not so much. But I mean, they had elements. They had elements that I would really like to see done by somebody who can do it well. So if anybody out there who listens to this podcast is a director or, you know, something like that and has any interest in horror, I'm begging you, make something happen during the day and in a well-lit area and, you know, just do it right. Don't do this. Don't have no mood.
Yeah.
Don't have no theme. Don't have no acting. Don't have no script. Don't have no dialogue. This is just terrible. This is a terrible movie.
Yeah.
And you know, there were so many unnecessary choices. There is no fucking reason we needed the kid's voiceover.
What? I don't even remember that. When did that happen?
It was at the beginning and then one other
and
time.
then like a part, the part after the 3 years later.
What? So like the little boy is like talking over the movie or something?
Yes.
He's giving a voiceover that's just god awful.
Oh, yeah. The first one, he says, like, it goes 3 years 3 years earlier, which is 1981. And he says something like, "This is a small town. The rest of the kids are with Isaac in the cornfield, and my dad took me to church because he doesn't like Isaac."
It's just nonsense, and the whole thing is just god awful and makes no sense and is completely and utterly unnecessary.
They wouldn't even have need to do that because like they could have just done that whole thing in the diner scene where like they roll up on the diner, the kid sits down at the bar, and the waiter goes, "Hey, what you go to church with your dad?" And he goes, "Yeah." And the waiter goes, "Where are the rest of the kids?" He goes, "Oh, they're out in the cornfield with Isaac, but my dad doesn't like Isaac." Bang.
Yep.
That's
exactly.
it. And then later on, there's a point where they get caught by Malachi, and he says something like, "Malachi is really mad at us because Isaac is really lenient on us because we weren't there to see him when he revealed himself.
Completely,
so we're a non-believer."
you know, just like going over it 2 times, it's completely unnecessary.
Well, it's absurd. Another absurd choice that they made, like the effects in a movie where so little happens, they felt like they needed to do voiceover to explain things happening.
Yeah. It was
where they
really
could have just done it with dialogue.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
A couple of other things about this is that it's given me a big, solid appreciation for Steven Spielberg because, I mean, we're you know, Stranger Things is pretty much evident that we have a really good idea how to direct children nowadays. And that the whole thing about child and stilted acting is perhaps maybe not as much of a thing as we thought it might be. Because when I think back to things like E.T. or Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which still had some stilted acting, it was nowhere near as bad as the delivery in this movie.
No, oh yeah, no.
And
like this movie, it was like they were doing a school play.
This movie was like they were doing a car commercial. This was that bad. That level of, "Hi, I'm here to buy a new car. Sorry, all our cars are corned." You know what I mean? But I mean, it's terrible. It was just god awful acting. And then the last thing that really disappointed me is Linda Hamilton's performance. She's awesome. I've seen her in enough things to know that when given her, you know, when pushed, she can really perform, you know? She did a great job in Terminator 2. She was in Defiance, and she did such a great job that I didn't even fucking recognize her. You know, so I mean, like, you know, she can act, but there is no evidence of that in this film whatsoever. And I don't know if that's just because she had absolutely nothing to work with whatsoever, or whether or not they like forcibly stepped in and said, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We can't have you acting here, because if you do, that's going to make everyone else look really bad. So we need you to just kind of dial it down if at all possible."
No, she wasn't given anything to work with. Like there was no dialogue for her to actually, deliver well in this movie.
She had to scream twice, and both times were
both times were really not great. Yeah. That's about what they sounded like. Oh no!
Then we're going to Washington D.C. to take back the White House.
Yeah. Yep, they were definitely two Howard Dean screams in there. Oh, they were terrible. So
the dead person on this corn cruise of that.
Children of the Corn, if you've never seen it and you've heard so many people talk about it and you've heard people make the reference, just continue to nod like you understand and laugh at the jokes, because it's not worth actually sitting through the 1 hour and 37 minutes it takes to get all these references. You already get the reference. The reference is that there's creepy kids.
Right.
That's the reference.
Have you ever heard that line? Outlander, Outlander, we have your woman. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Exactly. You've got it. You've got it. You don't need to go and watch the film to get any of it. So you're good. You're good.
They corned the car. That's why the car doesn't work anymore, because they corned it.
They corned it.
What did they do? It's like, not like they what is corn? Like, they didn't corn. I guess there was corn in the rest of the town. Like, so when like there was shit in the diner, there was corn.
Yeah,
but like we didn't see them corn anything.
No.
Like, what does it even involve when they corn something?
They just corn it. That's I mean, it's self-explanatory, Eric. You know all you need to know.
That dude got corn.
You've been corned.
I want lethal, or I want Beverly Hills Cop 3, where it's just Axel Foley and it all happens off screen, but like there are bad guys in the movie, and when the bad guys get back to like their apartment or their car or anything, like they're just bananas all over.
And then
Like,
they have to go to jail
explain
because
how it
they've
happened.
been bananaed.
They've been
bananas.
Wasn't there actually a Beverly Hills Cop 3 though?
Was
Oh
there?
yeah.
What?
I think there was.
Yeah.
I thought it was just 1 and 2.
No, I think there's
I don't know.
a third
I haven't
one.
seen anything.
Okay.
I haven't seen any movies.
Like all of the 80s sequels, the third one is always so fucking terrible, people forget about it.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's our Children of the Corn, which means that we are going to take a short break, and we will be back with a game. Unless, of course, this podcast has been corned in the meantime, which none of us will ever really see coming.
I got corned.
Oh man, I forgot about the fucking corn attacking
We'll be back.
that guy. That's fucking, oh my god, and he couldn't get out. The stalks, why did the corn take so long to actually start attacking these dudes? These guys are fucking up their shit the entire time. Now the stalks are moving. The one dude ran through like the entire field. The little kid almost got out. The stalks could have stopped him.
Tally-ho, John Hates Movies listeners, it's Eric Largent with a quick reminder of how you can find us. The best way to stay appraised of all of our activity is to follow us on Facebook at John Hates Movies. There we'll post all of our new episodes, as well as whatever we're feeling interested in at the moment. Please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast service, like iTunes, Stitcher, or Podcast and Radio Addict. If you subscribe to us on iTunes, please leave us a comment. We read every single one, and they're much appreciated. You can also follow us on Twitter at John Hates Movies, or follow me on Twitter at Eric Largent. Now, stay tuned for the game and find out what movie we get to watch next week. And if you're feeling adventurous, watch along with us and leave us a comment on Facebook telling us what you thought of the movie. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is now time for the game. That's right.
We're not going to corn this game.
It's everybody's favorite and ours. It is the game. So, in John Hates Movies tradition, the person who picked the movie picks the game and runs the game, and that would be Eric.
Yay. So, in this movie, there were a lot of, let's say, misquotations of the Bible, or maybe some, like, misinterpretations of Bible verses, and some kids, doing some kind of heavy metal shit. like interpreting the Bible, like digging pentagrams into their chest and drinking the blood.
Corn chopped Christ.
Corn Christ.
Corn crack.
Corning cars. Like that's a totally metal thing to do.
Yeah.
Wolf cut corns cars. So we're going to play a quick game of metal verse or Bible verse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, and I have chosen John to go first.
Hell yeah.
John, tell me, is this metal or Bible? Is this oh yeah, P.S. The Malachi, the redhead, he looked like the fucking love child of James Hetfield and fucking Dave Mustaine.
Oh god, I'm gonna do so bad at this game. I don't know my Bible or my metal.
He looked like he was in Metallica.
He looks like the biggest from fucking Christmas Story. Grew up.
Okay. So John, was this written by a metal dude or by our Father who art in heaven? All right. If I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies, and I will reward them that hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges on the enemy. John, was that metal or Bible?
That's totally metal.
Let's see. That's Deuteronomy 32.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god.
That's fucking Deuteronomy.
No, that's
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Dude.
That was written by Moses. Moses is into fucking heavy metal. Moses
That's ridiculous. There weren't even arrows back in Bible.
Moses
Yeah,
is
there
drinking
were.
the blood of his enemies. James,
Yeah.
is this heavy metal or is it Moses?
Right.
Or another fuck that wrote the Bible, Paul or some shit. And I will fill his mountains with the slain men. In your hills and in your valleys and in your rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make you perpetual desolations, and your cities shall not return, and you shall know that I am the Lord.
I will say I'm gonna go Bible on that one.
Let's see. You're right. That's Ezekiel.
Yeah.
35. Yeah, that was kind of an easy one. I don't know how many metal lyrics end with, and you will know that I am the Lord.
I think there's got to be a few.
Pretty
at
much
least.
every song by Slayer, right?
Yeah.
Johnny,
Yes.
their slain also shall be cast out, and their stench shall rise up out of their corpses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Fucking God is so nasty. But I am gonna go with metal again. This has got to be metal.
Wrong. That's Isaiah 34:3.
Oh, jeez. That guy was pretty metal.
James,
Yeah.
the sky is turning red. Return to power draws near. Fall unto me, the sky's crimson tears. Abolish the rules made of stone.
I'm gonna go with metal on that one.
That's right, it's Slayer, Raining Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking metal. All right,
Oh my
Johnny,
God.
you gotta
It's
play
a
some
really
catch
good
up here.
thing my friend Smitty doesn't listen to this podcast. He'd be so fucking disappointed in me.
Right.
Yeah. He'd be like, I knew he was a poser. Yes, I am a poser. But I like the music you play for me, Smitty, I swear.
I like metal. I like that Judas fellow. You know, the Father Judas.
All right, John, you have a chance to redeem yourself right here.
All right.
And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall deserve to die, and death shall flee from them.
Stonehenge, where the shit. It's the Bible.
That's right, it's Revelation 9:6.
Oh, thank God.
Honestly, these quotes are creepier than the entire fucking movie.
Yes.
Why did they put this in there? That's fucking great stuff.
Yeah. All right, so we've got James has 2, John has 1, right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. All right, James.
Yeah.
I can feel it burn inside of me, tormented young with no souls haunting me. Pain in their lives, All they know is misery. Take these chains away that are holding me down.
God. Yeah, that almost sounds like Metallica, but I'm gonna go with metal.
Metal. You are right, that's Avenged Sevenfold. That's not metal.
Yeah,
Never mind. It wasn't metal, but you got the answer right. Okay, Johnny.
Yes.
I am a brother to dragons, a companion to owls. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat.
It's gotta be metal.
You're wrong. That's Job 30:29.
Yeah, I know that one. That one's a fucking awesome verse too.
We're mentioning dragons in the Bible. Okay, James.
Yeah.
3-1.
Fuck yeah.
Killing scores with demon swords. Now is the death of doers of wrong. Swing the judgment hammer. Down. Safely inside armor. Blood, guts, and sweat.
I'm gonna have to go with metal on that.
That has to be metal.
Yeah.
You're right. That's Metallica, the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
James is getting some softballs, Johnny.
Yeah. That was definitely a softball.
All right. Here's another chance for you. And I looked and beheld a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him. This is Johnny Cash. It's not the Bible. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword and with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth.
Yeah, that's totally the Bible.
Yeah, that's Revelation 6:8.
That was my softball.
Yep. All right. James has 4. John has 2. James.
Mm-hmm.
Daughter Babylon, doomed to destruction. Happy is the one who repays you according to what you have done to us. Happy is the one who seizes your infants and dashes them against the rocks.
Oh, that one's easy. That's a Bible.
That is Psalm 137, 8 through 9.
Happy is he who
got to be
smashes the
kidding
infants
me.
against the rocks.
Wow.
Yeah, the famous Bible verse.
I don't recall getting taught that one in Sunday school.
Yeah,
Oh, they don't teach it in Sunday
yeah,
school.
they skip over these ones
Yep.
in Sunday school. Johnny.
Yeah.
5-2. You gotta get this one. He has bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary and slew all that were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire.
That's gotta be the Bible.
That is Lamentations 2:4.
Heck yeah.
James.
Mm-hmm.
5-3. In greet souls condemned for all eternity, obtained by immoral observance, a domineering deity.
That's gotta be metal.
Slayer again.
Yeah.
Damn! Fuck! Jesus! Have you gotten one wrong, James?
He's gotten like 1 or 2 wrong.
I don't know. Maybe we can go back.
He's gotten one wrong. I think he got the first one wrong.
Yeah, I think the first
You've at least gotten the first one wrong.
It's a 6-3.
Yep. This might be over, but I don't care. We're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
John,
Yes.
part your heavens, Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains so that they smoke. Send forth lightning and scatter the enemy. Shoot your arrows and rout them.
Bible.
You're right. That's Psalms. Again.
Yeah.
Like the book that's all about songs and shit. It's fucking heavy metal.
The God of the Bible loves metal. All this shit was like, back in the day, it was just like,
Fucking, he likes metal. James.
Yeah.
Hear now this story of the man that should not be. A ghoul of blackened torment, sullen atrocity, a kindred soul to the devil's own, malignance personified. Cast from his fire, he molests the purest light. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's metal.
You're right. That's Iced Earth, Vengeance is Mine. I mean, like,
I
it
knew
was
that
like,
it had to be metal.
it was
'cause
rhyming.
rhymed.
Yeah.
yeah, it rhymed.
That sucks.
John, searching for the answer. Christ hasn't come. Awaiting the final moment. The birth of Satan's son.
That's got to be metal.
That's Slayer. Again, the Antichrist.
Yeah. Knew it.
All right, this might be the last one. Let's see. James. And in the darkness shining, far beyond the starlight, lightning is striking from the dark, dawning shadows. And in the kingdom of the everlasting sun, when the glory is the master's, time has come.
Bible?
You're wrong. That's Dragon Force, Fury of the Storm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So James, I think you won like 6-3,
Yeah.
6-4.
Yeah.
James, you know your Bible and your medal.
Yep.
I'm gonna. I guess the game was a little bit rigged against John, because if there are two things that James knows, it's Bible and medal.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm fine. James, what are we watching?
We're gonna be watching something that's great literature from the olden days of colonial America. So not the Bible, but Sleepy Hollow, the Tim Burton one. Cause
is that by Tim Burton?
Yeah, because it's actually
it's like his.
Got a Halloween-y feel to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we the Addams Family, so why not?
They don't have any leprechauns anymore.
I know.
Do they really not have any leprechauns on Netflix
there
anymore?
Are no
they
leprechauns. I mean, if it was, we'd have to capstone with leprechaun.
Oh.
Of course.
Unfortunately, there is no leprechaun, so we're doing the next best thing, and we're watching
Johnny Depp.
The beginning of Tim Burton's love affair with Johnny Depp.
Oh boy!
In Sleepy Hollow.
Yay!
Well, let's see if this is the first Tim Burton movie I ever like.
Doubtful. And if you guys are looking for something very scary to watch, I do highly recommend Sci-Fi's new show based on creepypasta. Starts off with one of my favorite creepypasta tales, Candle Cove. So definitely check that out. It is called Channel Zero.
I lost my voice singing metal.
Aw.
I was doing my best to sound like Sauron.
Yeah, no, he loves metal.
Yes, he does.
He did a lot of voices for a lot of metal albums.
He did, like, he has metal albums. Christopher Lee.
Yeah. Yep.
Fucking great.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next week it is going to be Sleepy Hollow. We'll see you then. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
A great big thank you to our staff graphic artist, Tabby Walters, the Weekly Cast, and our listeners. You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, through YouTube, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. Every third episode is Listener Appreciation, where we choose from your suggestions. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies YouTube channel, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say,
I took a dump off the Great Wall of China.
No, that is not true. That can't possibly be true.
I know Eric has been to China.